This is a urgent prophetic word from Jonathan Cahn to President Donald J. Trump during the inaugural National Faith Summit. He gives his prophetic word to Donald Trump. Please pay very close attention and listen to the very end so you can understand this prophetic word. Jonathan Cahn says, Mr. President, I speak of the mystery of your life. You were born on June 14, 1946. You were born into the world to be a trumpet of God, a vessel of the Lord in the hands of God. God called you to walk according to the template. He calls you according to the template of Jehu, the warrior king. Jonathan Cahn points out that just as Jehu was called to make the Israeli nation great thousands of years ago, so too Trump has been called to make America great again. Jehu called to the capital city with an agenda to drain the swamp. Jehu formed an alliance with the religious conservatives of the land, so it was your destiny to do the same. To come to power, Jehu had to prevail against the nation's former first lady. So, to come to power, you had to prevail against the nation's former first lady. Jehu overturned the cult of Baal by which children were sacrificed. So, God chose you to overturn America's cult of Baal, Roe versus Wade. Before Trump was ever born, God had divine destiny and purpose planned for him. This is all to point to glory of God. It will be the last act and maybe America's last chance of redemption. But for that to happen, you must seek him with all your heart. Follow him with all your might. Jehu was born to make his nation great again by turning it back to God and where it belongs. And this nation, America, belongs to God. So were you, Mr. President. These are the words of Jonathan Cahn. The warning for America that we only can continue to be great if we turn back to God, because that was initial purpose of American sovereignty and why this nation was founded, why this nation were born, is to fulfill and to be a second Israel. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. You are a trumpet. This is Jonathan Cahn saying, you are a trumpet of God, and the trumpet can only fulfill its purpose if it's filled with the breath of the one who holds it up and blows through it. God is the one who lifted you up, and he wills that you to be filled with a breath of his spirit. God is calling you to go all out for God. And if you, then what will follows will be the greatest and most glorious part. Then you will do what no president has ever done in the history. Jonathan Cahn prophetically declares that if Trump turns his life and his ways completely over to the Lord, then he will be used by God to bring America back to the state of glory to change the world. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Now arise and shine, for your glory is come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. He declares. So these are the words, these are the verses that quoted by Jeremiah. And look at it. If you were to ask those who are wondering who Jehu was, and Jehu, he's appear in First King, Second King, and also Hosea. But look at it, the work of Jehu. Jehu reign lasted from around 842, 815 BCE, and the family of Jehu was the son as Jehu was the son of Josaphat and the grandson of Nimshi. Military wise, if you check him out, Jehu was a chariot commander for King Ahab and his son Joram. And then if you look at the appointed for, so he was appointed by prophet Elisha. And then what he does exactly when he's appointed and what is assignment? Jehu lead a coup to overthrow the house of Omari, which included the dynasty of Ahab and his wife Jezebel. That's the prophecy that what Jonathan Cahn is quoting in that inaugural National Faith Summit. And look at it, what is the next is, and that makes it even more interesting. Jehu's goals included avenging the blood of prophets. So see how much the blood of the prophets is upon the hand right now. Those who shed the blood and those who were given a position in a high places. And look at what he does. Jehu's goals, including avenging the blood of prophets and God-fearing men who were killed by Jezebel. Zeal. Jehu was zealous in ending the worship of Baal in Israel, but uh, he, he had allowed idolatry to continue in Bethel and Dan. But look at it. He was appointed and anointed by a prophet Elisha to drain the swamp, to drain what was happening in high places in the nation of Israel. And what is happening right now in America is that idolatry is the altar of idolatry is placed on a very high places. What is good is bad, and what is bad is good. Children, Roe versus Wade, were being sacrificed, and then also indoctrination of children's the heart of children turning away from God and to adultery. There is many things that are being pointed and hypocrisy. You know what? You can be anything. That's what is happening right now. You could be anything. You could identify anything, whatever you want, other than man or woman created in the image of the Almighty God. And He created us. He knit us together in our mother's womb. And the enemy's divine plan is the plan from the beginning is to destroy that image, to drive our life away from God and drive our life to hell with Him, because it belongs in the abyss. And devil is never going to prevail. Devil is never going to be victorious. You know what? He has evil devices. He had made plans to overthrow the church. And that was the plan of an enemy. But I'm telling you right now that God is aware of every single thing that is happening, that's being taken place in this nation. And God has a purpose and plan for His people. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I will say that not to despise the small beginnings, because it is going to be a ripple effect right now, that God's glory, a revival is about to break out here in the United States of America, which is going to spill on over to many nations. And you are going to see the once what you saw on the roads and on the squares and in the streets, those no longer gonna be, but you're gonna see a greatest revival hit the United States of America. I am believing for it. I'm believing God to change and turn the wicked and the evil and detrimental ways into a life-giving ways. We need to get Bible back into schoolhouse, into court, and in the houses of Congress. This is we want to see the Bible in the White House. And don't for a moment think that Bible does not belong in the places that I just mentioned. Thank you so much.